What going on, guys? Command here, and welcome to a new video inside of PC Building Simulator. But this is a different version of PC Building Simulator. This is the second one. Now, I did have access to the beta and I did have a play about with it, but I just wanted to leave my raw opinions and views for when the game actually came out. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, I'm not going to bother with career mode. I'm going to go straight into free build mode. And what we're going to be doing in free build mode is we're going to be building the biggest and best, most expensive PC that we can possibly do, and benchmark it and what have you. And then do what we can in between to see what we can find has been added, changed, separated. I know little bits of what's happened and what's changed, but for the most part, I'm going into this completely blind. Right, so welcome to free build mode. In this mode, you can build your dream PC and export it to share with others. As a thank you gift. Oh, right. Sorry, that didn't make any sense. There's no punctuation in this sentence. As a thank you gift, a ready pre-built PC has been left for you to import. You can collect it from the storage cupboard. Right, that didn't make any sense. It should have been a comma between a thank you gift. There should have been a comma between gift and a ready PC, but whatever. Right, so we've got two pre-built PCs here. Now, they're not plugged in, right, which is fine, and they're not been benchmarked. I don't think this one's been benchmarked either. Well, let's just see. Right, so photos and exporting PCs. In free build mode, you can take photos of your PCs to use as thumbnails. Oh, that's cool. That's actually very useful for YouTube. Then export the PCs to share with your friends. To try these features, right-click the camera button or export button on the top right of the screen. Continue. Ah, right. So, if we go like that and then click that, ooh, click capture. Nice. That's not particularly that good for thumbnails because I need a thumbnail that's 4K, so that's not particularly that useful. But anyway, that's fine. Right. So let's plug it in. Auto plugged in, which is nice. Is it got OS already on it? Ah, nice, cool. Right, so we got... Right, okay, we've got achievements already. Right, so... Oh, we haven't got a USB stick in here, so let's install... So we've got two different USB drives in this one, which is interesting. We're going to have a look at what those do. So we've got 3D Mark, which we need. Don't need virus scanner. Part ranking, we'll have a go with that and see where we get to. I'm not going to install GPU tuner because I don't want to overclock any of these machines for the moment. I would just want to see where the raw components actually get us. So we'll do Cinebench R20, which is actually a new one, which I'm actually really interested in seeing how that works, because that was one of my main things that I said in PC Building Simulator 1, was that in order to get Cinebench scores, I needed to go and look on the internet. So now that we've actually got Cinebench R20, we can actually hopefully get them roughly more or less what they actually are in real life. We've got a few others. We've got maybe Fall Guys. There's Fall Guys on this machine. I'm interested to see what this one does. Fall Guys. Waiting for players. Is this just going to be endless? Can you actually... I wonder if this is multiplayer function. You can actually play Fall Guys on your custom PC. That'd be funny. So, let's just quickly run 3D Mark, and let's see where this gets to. Now, while that's running, let's have a look at what components we've got in here. So, we've got an EVGA motherboard, which is fine. We've got an 8th gen i3. Right, so I'm not expecting huge amounts. About an $80 CPU, so I'm not expecting huge amounts from it. But it's got 32 gigs of RAM. That's a bit, whack, that is. Having 32 gigs of RAM with a 8th gen i3. That's a really strange, combination. If you were to have, for that kind of CPU, because it's 8th gen as well, it's quite an old chip by general standard. My PC, when I started putting it together, 4 or 5 years ago, I started off with an 8th gen i3. Not this one. I started off with the unclocked the non-overclockable version of the 8th gen i3, 8100, I think it was. But I only had 8 gigs of RAM. So I was expecting for an overclocked CPU to have 8 or 16. So that's a bit of a weird sort of combination. And an RTX 3090. So I'll be interested to see what 3D Mark comes up with, because that's a bottleneck and a half, that is. 1TB M.2, which is fine. There's a power supply in there as well. So yeah, see, as you can see, this is just looking at this, it's doing it backwards. So GPU was first, CPU second, whereas with the other one, it was the other way around, do CPU first and GPU second. The CPU has been absolutely tanked. So there's only got 11,800 score, but this GPU's fine, but the CPU's been absolutely tanked because it's a really small, like, low spec machine. So let's have a look. What's single core CPU? This is going to take ages. I'm not expecting, so like it's 4 cores, so I'm not expecting anything really much for it. So what's this one got in it? It's got 3090 as well. Now this has got an 8th core Ryzen 7 5800X, which is actually a bit better. So this has got 32 gigs of RAM in it and a 3090. So this is a bit more. This is water cooled as well. So let's fill up the loop quickly. Custom water cooling. Where's my coolant? We'll just do clear coolant just for the time being. So let's see where this one benches. So see, this one's less of a bottleneck. It's about the same cost. It costs actually less than the other one does. But the CPU is what actually brings it back up. So it's actually a lot more. Like, it's probably still a bit of a bottleneck because the 3090 is still quite a powerful GPU, but it's less of a bottleneck than sticking it with a 3rd gen bloody. I need to put CPU in it. An 8th gen i3, which is a bottleneck and a half, so. Right, so while we're benching that, let's go and put ourselves together our own little PC, right? And when little, I mean a big, huge PC. So, what have we got as far as cases are concerned? It's all PC, right, PC parts. Case storage, right. So, let's go high to low, because why not? We're going for the most expensive PC we can possibly find. Now, a lot of these cases I've never actually heard of before. Corsair Obsidian, obviously, is a monster of PC. That one's in the old game, so is that one. These two, High-T Revolt 3, they must be quite new, because I've never come across those before. Now, the case I don't want to cheap out on, because obviously that's the point of having the point of the video, having the most expensive case entirely, but I want a nice-looking case. Oh, why am I always tempted by the Cooler Master Cosmos? It's because it's such a nice case. Like, if this case wasn't 300 quid, like, I would get this in real life. And if it wasn't so huge, because this case is a monster. I love this case, but it wouldn't fit under my desk. This is my favorite case I've ever seen. It's such a nice one. But anyway, so we'll go for the ASUS ROG Strix Helios case to start off, to build our PC onto, because I like this case. It's a really nice case. I think, again, if this case wasn't so expensive, I would like this case as well. This case would be the ideal one for me to have in real life, and it would fit under my desk as well, but I can't warrant ever spending £370 on a case. I don't understand how people can do that. I want to make a bit of an RGB type PC, so I'm going to get rid of all these boring black fans. And I'm going to stick some RGBs in here, just because I like aesthetic. Right, so we'll take off the shroud as well, so we can get inside things. Right, first things first, as always, is the motherboard. Now, apparently, you can put the motherboard actually together on a desk. So we've got a spare desk behind me, so I'm going to see if I can do that. So this is the most expensive one that we've got, which is actually an Intel chip, which I'm actually going to go for. It's £2,000, but it's an absolute monster. It's DDR5 as well, which is quite nice. So let's grab this one. Can I actually? I'm really interested to see if I can actually do it or put it on a. No, can I not? Okay, that's fine. Maybe it's on an actual test bench. I can do it. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, so we'll install it. I need to take the little beauty panel off. See that on there? Oh, that's a big. I think, is that EATX? Yeah, it is. That's an EATX board. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that panel back on. But anyway, no bother. Right, so we'll go for the i9 12900K, 16 cores, base frequency 3.2, boost frequency 5.2. So we'll go with that. Now, I'm not going to custom water cool this PC. I am going to put an AIO in it. But, like I said, I don't want to take this shroud thing off because I don't want it. I want a vertical bracket. But I've not got no intention of overclocking this PC because, right, this is the new feature. So, but I've got no intention of overclocking this PC for the moment, for today, because I want to see the raw performance to compare it to the other ones that we've got. So, this is a new feature of PC Building Simulator, is you can actually put your own thermal paste on. Right, so that's significant thermal paste that you have. You can literally cover the, like I could literally just like go like this, just cover the entire CPU in blade thermal paste if I wanted to. I'm not going to because that's stupid, but, and also something else I like is it translates it into the actual like exterior, sort of like in the wider view, which is quite nice. That's a nice detail. So, let's go for CPU cooling. We'll go, this is the RGB cooler, we'll go for this one, because why not? And it's a chunky fans as well, which is always nice, we like that. So, let's go, and it's expensive as well, which is always a benefit when you're trying to make a really expensive PC. Right, so now what we need is we need the RAM. Now, because this is a server board, we've only got 4 memory slots, but that's not a problem. We'll go for some, we'll go for some Team Group T-Force Delta RGB series, 6400 megahertz, $1,120 per like chip, per RAM slot, RAM like thing. My god, this is ridiculous. Now, granted, I think like PC Building Simulator 1, the prices are not, I think they're based off of MSRP rather than what you can actually get them for in real life. Like, you can go on like Amazon or somewhere and get them for a lot cheaper. But I think it's based off MSRP, which is why it's so expensive. I'll pay $8 already. Bloody hell, I haven't even got our dual bloody 3090s in place yet. Right, so, what next? Right, before we go, I want to open up a drive bay and put an M.2 storage slot in it. 4 terabyte M.2, I think that'll suffice quite nicely. Just about. Right, so then what have we got? Motherboard, CPU cooling, that's all done. Right, graphics cards. Right, so this is the water-cooled one. I don't want a water-cooled one. I want just the normal one. So, well, obviously we'll go for the RTX 3090s, the ASUS ROG Strix overclocked versions. Now, I know I say I'm not going to overclock them, but these are factory overclocked, so you buy them with the overclock that you need. So this doesn't actually count as far as I'm concerned because I'm not manually overclocking it. Everything that comes out of this PC's benchmark is out of the box, right? So obviously we'll go buy a second one and stick that in there as well. And then we go power supplies. Most expensive power supply, £500, 1600 watt modular power supply. Got to take the PSU mount off and then put that on there. There we go. Let's see how our... Okay, so we've done pretty good. It's a much higher score, but not by much. But that's because it's not been overclocked. Right, so let's do single core first with this one. It's going a little bit faster, but not much. But it is single core. You finished? What's your score? 720. Right, we'll have a look, see what my custom built one is going to do. Now we'll do normal CPU score. So that's a multi-core CPU tip bench score. So we'll see how that goes. Right, so that's all of that. So cables are fine. Case fans. Now, obviously, got to go for RGBs, because why the hell not? So we'll do one over there. And then we'll go one here, one here, one here, and that's it. Cool. Right, now I think that's everything. Now I know it's everything because it's got incomplete case. So now we're going to put all of our parts back together. There we go. So that's all of the different... That's the case... Pretty much, the only thing we can't put on is a beauty panel, but that's just because the motherboard's too big. Right, so now we'll put on USB drive. Now power it on, and we should see the OS boot in. There we go. Now if we go 3D Mark and Cinebench. So now we go advanced, runs 3D Mark. I'm expecting the GPUs to be ridiculously powerful. This one's still going. Have you finished? Yep, so 2,759 for multi-core and 720 for single core. Now, you can see from the scores here that it actually performs better than the Ryzen 5 6-core, which is interesting, but that's probably because it's 8-core. It runs better than 7700K, which is fine because it's a older chip. Now, something else this game has actually added in is they've added a few different things into the tablet. So you can see your different part package. You can actually decorate your room from inside the tablet. But one thing they've actually added in is a thermal camera into the tablet, which basically shows you the temperatures that your PC is running at. So you can see down here you've got, this is the cooler end and this is the hotter end, right? So if you've got a PC that, let's say when you're playing career mode that's overheating, you can actually see via the thermals what is actually part of it is actually overheating. And you can actually click to see which parts of it are actually the hottest. So you can see right in the middle here, where I'm clicking and where the marker is showing us about 47 degrees, which is what we expect. The CPU is about 45 degrees. Now, bear in mind, it's not actually running 3D Mark at the moment, but I didn't think from the end of 3D Mark it wasn't actually that bad. 28,000, which is pretty good for something that's not overclocked. We'll run 3D Cinebench as well. But that's actually pretty cool. That's interesting. It's an interesting test, right? So, single core, 780. It's not much better than the i3, but we can see from if we go multi-core, because it's an 8-core, it's going rapid. So I'm interested to see where that bench is. Again, single core not much faster, but like the single core is always slow anyway, even with really like expensive components. That's done instantaneously, and second from the top. Right, so that's second from the Ryzen 9 12 core, the Ryzen 7 8 core. Now I expect this Intel. What have we got? What have we got in here? The 12900K. I'm pretty sure that one was 16 cores, I think it was. I'm expecting this to absolutely trump the 12 core Ryzen 9, so that'll be interesting. So yeah, we can. So that's actually pretty cool. You can only do it when you're in PC building mode. Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, that's an interesting thing they've added in, which actually very helps with PC mode. It also helps with overclocking as well, because if you're overclocking your PC is actually too hot, you can actually tell that by looking at the thermal. So if overclock your PC too much and you get a blue screen, you can actually look at your PC and see. I'm not testing this; it's all theory based. I'm going to do a few more experiments later on when I'm playing this in my own time. But you can actually see what actually part of it's actually overheating, whether it's the CPU, whether it's the GPUs, whatever it is, whether it's a motherboard or what. So that's an interesting thing. Right, what I'm going to do, because this is going to take a while, I'm going to cut ahead on the video to when both the Cinebench tests have been finished, and I'll be back once they're done. Right, so I'm back, and I've done both the Cinebench tests, and as you can see, this Intel chip has absolutely stomped, like more than doubled the Ryzen 9 12 core with 17,489. Like, that is mental. That's a lot of performance. So yeah, that is really quite impressive. 1279 for the single core and 17,489 for multi-core. That is mental. So anyway, but that is about all I've time for in this video here, though. I just wanted to jump on and do a little experiment, just to try it out and see, well, let's make the most expensive PC we can and see what happens. I have got a few other ideas for videos I can do. It's videos we have done in the past with the first PC Building Simulator, but I want to see how it scales with this game, because we've got more features that we can do with it. So, like, I want to make, like, a middle-of-the-road PC, I want to make a crappy PC, I want to make my own PC that I've got currently, since I have updated since the last time we did this, I did it myself. And I also want to do, I've got a few other little ideas that we can do as well. I want to play about with Threadrippers, and I want to play about with, like, other server things, so we'll see where that goes. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content, and I shall see you all later. Bye!